IRL. I am here in Studio Place in collaboration with MAM Productions, and I am Kimmy Seltzer, your host. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm a confidence therapist, an authentic dating strategist, and an image expert. And I know that's a mouthful to say that I work with people holistically, inside and out, to feel their best so they attract what they want. And sorry for the delay, but I have to say, hot off the press, there's a really good reason why we were delayed. We were just about to go live when Conan O'Brien was in the house. Well, he was right outside the house, but nonetheless, he was right there, like looking at us doing this live talk show, and the lovely Michelle Murad ran out there to say, hey, I'm from MAM Productions and I do a talk show, and she has a great talk show called Good Day Lives. You've got to check that out. And we might even have Conan here, right here. I mean, I really would have preferred if he came here right now and been my co-host. That would have been pretty cool, but who knows? Stay tuned, stay with me, because you never know who's going to be with me and here in the studio. So with that being said, hello, how is everybody doing? If you are new to the show and you're just tuning in, this is a innovative live show that you can catch in all social media channels, including YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and don't worry, I always have the replay, but you can go to datingirl.tv and make sure you subscribe so you know when I go live and get those replays. And we have had such an amazing show. Well, shows, I should say, up until now. This is my third show. And if you didn't catch the last one, let me recap, because we had a really powerful show. We've been really focusing all on style intelligence. And what style intelligence is your wardrobe, your body language, your presentation, your magnetism, it's your energy, it's how you market yourself. Because for me, as a dating strategist, I believe that you need to work from the outside in, not the inside out, because that's when the magic happens. So many people are working on themselves, they work on the inside, but they're neglecting how they're portraying themselves on the outside. So last week, we were showcasing a lot of my makeovers and the people who have had makeovers and how that has transformed their love life. And with that, at the end of the show, we showcased a beautiful woman named Sandy, who is in the studio today to get a live makeover. So please stay tuned, stay all the way to the end. The show's about an hour, and you are about to see some magic happening here. But before we get to it, I want to actually talk about first impressions. Another thing that happened last night is I had a workshop. It was called First Impression Makeover Workshop. It was a live co-ed interactive workshop where we all got in the room and we talked about body language, we talked about style, and it was super fun and interactive. And one of the things that really kind of surprised everybody is how much that outside piece is neglected. Because when you neglect some of that outside marketing that I talk about a lot, you could be doing all this inside work. And people even in the workshop were saying, you know, Kimmy, I've been doing a lot of work on myself and yet still nothing is happening. And again, it's easy to blame the environment that you're in. It's easy to say, oh, I'm just working on myself. But the fact of the matter is if you don't put yourself out there, and you show the signals that you're open for business, that you're available, that you have your cab light on, then love might be passing you by. And so we actually went over two different areas. We went over what body language shows signs of attraction. And I will mention a couple tips that I gave, because while you're watching, and I do want to give you some value. And by the way, I'm always going to give you value on this show. And what makes the show unique is that because it's educational, but it's also a way for you to come on the show. So I want to hear from you. If you are thinking that you have a style question, anything about your love life, your dating life, go to datingirl.tv and subscribe and write me. I want to know your questions and I will answer you here live. And yes, I bring people in the studio. I'm taking it over to the streets. I'm ambushing people. I plan on doing a lot on the show. And so going back to the workshop, what was really fun to interact with everyone is that I actually did live makeovers on Zoom. And what I did is I had people spotlighted and everybody in the room kind of assessed their clothes, and I made them go change, and we did kind of these instant makeovers. And what everyone noticed is that those little tweaks, those little changes is what makes a big impact in the way that you're seen. And so, yeah, just getting people different glasses or having a guy put on a jacket, all the people in the Zoom room were like, oh my God, he looks so different. And so I invite you to think about, what are you wearing when you go out into the world? A big mistake so many of you are making is that you're compartmentalizing your closet, you're compartmentalizing your life, your mindset around dating into a box where it's like, okay, well, I'll only dress up or I'll only kind of focus on dating when I'm in my dating space, kind of thing, where I'm going on a date or I'm swiping right and left. And to me, dating, the confidence, what you wear is something that should always be. Like when you go to the grocery store, when you go to the coffee shop, when you walk into any kind of venue, what message are you sending out to the world? Not just with what you're wearing, but the body signals that you're giving. Are you looking in your phone? Are you looking around? Are you just tired? Do you have the RBFs on? Do you guys know what RBFs on? This is real. Can I say it? Can I say resting bitch face? I didn't make this up, by the way. And by the way, I hate that it's only for women. I think men have it too. I call it resting grimace face because there are grimaces out there. And it's not that it's intentional. I don't think there's a bunch of grumpy people. Well, maybe you are grumpy, but if you're showing that you're grumpy, then what kind of message are you sending out to the world? Are you approachable? If you are frowning, or if you're looking sad, or if you're looking down, or if you're hunched over, you're sending the signal to everyone, don't come near me, don't talk to me. And here's the problem with all of that, y'all, is that in first impressions, and this is a surprising statistic, it only takes 7 seconds to make a first impression. Now, that's what research says. A couple years ago, it was only 30 seconds, but that's all you got. And people are making judgments and assumptions based on 2 things and 2 things only: the clothes that you wear and the attitude that you have. And so all of you who are worrying about what to say and how am I coming across, and all of you that are in your head and you know who you are, most of you that I work with are high achievers and always in your head, and that's the problem. That's not even as important as how you show up. It's your energy. It's the way that you kind of move through life, because once you have that, you're knocking down a huge barrier. A huge barrier, because you might be the greatest person on earth, but if you're not advertising that you're great, then again, someone's not even going to get to know you. So these are some of the things that I talk about, that I focus on, and I think is often overlooked. And once you start paying attention and being aware of, first of all, your own body language, what you put on your body, and how you move out into the world, and on top of that, who's noticing you, that's when things happen. I share this story all the time, and I'm gonna actually just, after this, introduce Sandy, but there was a woman who, she signed up for coaching, and she was at her, she was at her wit's end, last straw. She's like, Kimmy, I've scoured the earth. I've seen every man, I've dated every man in this town. There are no good men. I said, I believe you. She's like, what? I said, yeah, I believe you. I believe that you believe that there are no good men. And it was her perception because that was her experience. And so she was going on all the apps, seeing the same guys over and over again, not believing that there was anyone else. I said, I want you to do me a favor. After this first call, because she hired me, I said, I just want you doing one thing before our first call. I want you to go out into the world. I want you to take the same routine to work. And I want you to notice who's noticing you. I know you take the same routine every single time to work because she lived in a city where she walked. But I just want you to be hyper aware of your surroundings and who's in it. And she's like, okay, but I told you, I said, I know. And again, I believe you, but just do what I say. You just paid me all this money, just do what I say. And so she does it. And we have our call a week later. And she comes back and she says, Kimmy, oh my gosh, do you have a voodoo doll? I said, no, I don't have a voodoo doll. What happened? And she said, well, I did what you said. I went to work, same routine, but I really made it a point of opening up my body, looking around, smiling, and wouldn't you know, I see this really handsome gentleman sitting on a bench. And I said, that's fantastic. So what happened? He's like, well, Kimmy, she's like, I noticed that he was noticing me. I make eye contact. I held the eye contact, and normally I look away, but you were in my head and said, Kimmy's gonna kill me. And so I made that eye contact, and he calls me over. And so he calls me over, and Kimmy, we start talking. And we're having a great conversation, and Kimmy, he asked for my number. And so they exchanged numbers, and she said, and we already went out on a date. I said, you gotta be kidding. She said, yeah, and I really like him. And I said, oh my God. Okay, so here's the kicker of the story. That guy ended up being her boyfriend. And they're still together today. This is years ago. And it was all because she changed 3 things. She changed her mindset, she changed her approach, and she changed her perspective. I often call it the Matrix. You all see the Matrix, obviously. Most of us have. I believe that the dating world is a lot like the Matrix, is that you might be walking through this world and you see the same thing because that's what you're trained to see. But when you put on a different pair of goggles or glasses and you become aware and you take a different routine to work, or you see things in a different way, or you break up a pattern, it's called a pattern disruption, all of a sudden you see something different. And are you walking in the same world, or can you kind of put your glasses on and start seeing something different? And it starts with what you put on your body. It starts with the signals that you send out into the world. It starts with you being more intentional and aware so that as you put yourself out there, you never know what opportunities are going to come your way. And so that's why I love this stuff. Because look, if you think about it, there are so many things in life, especially the inside job, that takes a long time, right? And as a therapist, I know this. But this stuff that we're talking about is instant. It's instantaneous. That when you put on a new dress, ladies, you walk out feeling a little different. You have a skip in your step, and you're going to see Sandy skipping in her step really soon. You know, when men, if you put on a jacket, you stand a little taller, a little prouder. You know, even the clothes you wear also interacts with your body language. Image, when you look at the dictionary, the definition of image is how somebody perceives you, and that determines how people treat you. Super important. So with that, this is a good segue into introducing our lovely, beautiful, beautiful Sandy, who is in the studio. But before we bring her out, I wanted to show you some things that we did with her that was pretty spectacular to prep her in even getting her here. And so before I met Sandy, I actually met Sandy at a conference. And I had not remembered that we had met until she hit me up on Facebook, and she saw my calling out for a makeover, and she said, me, pick me. And so we got on the phone and we started talking, and she is so lovely. She's so beautiful. And the problem is that she doesn't really see how beautiful she is. And she kind of lost her way with her body changing over the years. And she comes from a divorce situation, and she wants to get back out there. She wants to find love, but she finds herself kind of stuck in fear and also not really feeling sexy confident. And so as I was talking with her, I really realized that the only thing that was holding her back was her. And it wasn't until she looks in that mirror and says, darn it, I'm hot, I'm sexy. It's not until then, until guys are gonna really see that of her too. So that is why I wanted to bring her in the studio, bring her on. I would love to show you a picture of her, just so if you haven't seen her before, this is lovely Sandy. And as you can see, I want to just break down a little bit what I was saying when we first saw her pictures, is that she's a gorgeous woman. And she wasn't fearful of wearing dresses. She said she actually had a lot of dresses in her wardrobe. But the problem is she wasn't wearing dresses that, first of all, served her body type, and also that was like date worthy, in my opinion. And now, obviously, there's different looks for different people. I believe in casual looks. I believe in dressy looks. It's all good looks. But if things don't serve your body and they don't have that sex appeal, then that's when sometimes, you know, people have a hard time with understanding the distinction. This isn't mommy clothes. This isn't your work clothes. This is your dating costume. This is your dating costume. So what I saw that was really problematic is, as you can see, she has a lot of patterns. And the problem with patterns, and you'll hear me in this video explain to her, is that it often doesn't serve a lot of people. And actually a lot of men, you men say to me, don't kill the messenger, because you just tell me this. I did a survey on Facebook and you all told me this. And I work with men. That men don't exactly love patterns. They don't really know why. We women love patterns because they're floral, they're pretty, they're feminine, but guys just want to see your body. They just want to see something solid on you, and sometimes that gets distracting. All right, if we can show another picture. As you can see, again, lots of patterns. The pleated skirt wasn't doing her justice, and then one more we have of her casual look, if we can show that. And what she was saying, she got a lot last week. She gets a lot of people are nice to her, she said, when she's wearing this. And I hypothesize it's because she's wearing red. And red is a sign of attraction. Red is a sign of, like, you know, kind of charisma and energy. So I'm not surprised she did, but we could do better. And so what you're about to see is footage of what we did together called a virtual makeover. And what a virtual makeover is where I actually teach people about their body type, their colors, and we go through that, her closet. You'll see me auditing her closet a little bit, and then we go virtual shopping together. So by the way, if any of you are interested in a virtual makeover, again, just go to datingirl.tv. And you can let me know if that's something you want to do. You can also pick up a free style guide if you just go to style.tv, styleguide.tv, and that will be on the screen a little bit later, because then you can determine what body type you are and what clothes flatter your figure and what clothes to stay away from. All right, so without further ado, let us see her virtual makeover. I'm back. Okay, due to technical difficulties, we are getting that loaded up. But until then, oh, did I say that the show is live, y'all? And the show gets messy. And that's why I like that, because to me, that's how life is. And one of the things that a lot of people have trouble with when it comes to dating, especially you high achievers, is that you like to have an agenda and you like to determine what the outcome is and what the goals are. And sometimes that doesn't always go your way when it comes to love and dating, and just like on this show. And sometimes you got to go with the flow, and the flow is what actually can be really fun. So anyway, if that didn't happen, you wouldn't know that tip. All right, we're ready. So appealing and attractive. And so, yeah, you can be sexy, any size, shape, age, ethnicity. It doesn't matter. And that's so the point is exactly what you were saying. Like, no matter what size you are, and even if you lose weight, to have that like kind of sexy confidence come out.
Please. Yes. Gimme.
Okay, let's get to it. Well, thank you for submitting your pictures. You created a virtual closet with me. And I'll kind of go over what we're going to do today. I mean, one is that I want to really understand your body type. And just to be clear, it has nothing to do with your weight. It has everything to do with your, your bone structure and how tall you are and that kind of thing. And obviously, like, your boobs are going to fluctuate as you lose weight. Our stomachs do too. So that might vary, but your bones are your bones in the way that your silhouette reads. And so I'm going to do that first. We're going to measure you and we'll determine what body type you are. I'm going to go over what works, what doesn't. And then I'm going to share the screen. We'll show the pictures that you have up. And then we're going to go shopping. And I'm going to give you some suggestions of clothes that I think would look amazing on you. And let's see where we go with it.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it. I'm especially also looking forward to learning these little body language and eye thingy, eye
the eye
connection
contact.
trick.
Oh yeah. Well, that is going to be part deux when we come into the studio, and we're going to be doing a full makeover on you. And I don't know, I have something in the works where I'm going to be setting you up possibly. So you can practice.
Okay. Ooh, that's kind of scary. And then
and the fact that you said is scary, right? That probably means is something you need to do, because no one changes in a state of comfort. We only change in a state of discomfort. And so I love, like, I'm stretching you a little bit, it's time to get off the self-help books and time to get into life, and let's do some practice.
Amen.
All right, sister. All right. So let's actually, let's do a measurement first. So do you have the tape measure handy? Yeah. Okay. And we're going to do kind of old school, like, I have a style guide, and you actually can access it if you went to kimmyseltzer.com/style. You can download it and even see like some of the things that I'm going to share with you today. And so you'll have it in like a book. And they tell you to measure yourself like with the circumference and doing it all the way around. We're going to do it just kind of a really easy way, and we're going to do a 2D form. So we're going to first measure your shoulders. And what I want you to do is just go from shoulder blade to shoulder blade. Yeah. The other problem with when you wear a high collar is you might look like uniboob.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I guess comparing them to the 25-year-old legs, that they were.
Can I make an observation as we're talking? There's a lot of comparing yourself of what used to be rather than.
I know.
And I think you're doing that with a lot of things. And that also kind of keeps you out of being present too, with yourself, with men, with connecting to your environment. Because there's a lot of like, oh, but I used to be like this, or am I good enough? Or like, there's a lot of conversations happening in your head. And
like, I need my pockets, man. So the jeans have pockets, so I can stick my ticket in the back pocket. I got my business cards in the other back pocket. And for some reason, when I wear this shirt, people are really nice to me. So that's why I started wearing this as my plain outfit, because people are just nicer to me in that outfit for some reason.
Oh my God. And I think I know why. So first of all, I love that you just talked about the pockets, and that's one thing that I want to help you with. And that's a very masculine thing to, kind of put things in the pocket and, have the fanny pack. And And so like when you're going on a date, and by the way, there are men.
The fanny pack, this is only for airports.
I know, but by the
Yeah.
way, men are at the airport, like FYI. just just so you know,
I
like
know.
they're everywhere. And so like as you're starting to go out into the world and being mindful of just like how you're presenting yourself, that everywhere and anywhere are chances to meet men. Yeah, all the things that you said, like I like that it's more fitted. And the pleats are, although it's not like really wide pleats, I would love to see something that's a little more just straight. You know, it added more bulk down here than you needed. And because it went below the knee, it just makes you look shorter and stockier right here.
Yeah.
And I think if you had a little bit of a lift in a heel, that would be really cool.
But it's got pockets.
And it's got pockets, and pockets are cute. I think, and let's talk about patterns because we're about to see a lot of patterns here.
Yeah. I love, as you see, I love bright floral patterns.
I know that I do see that. I'm gonna say this with so much love. We got to get rid of the patterns when it comes to dating, and even with your body type. And I'm going to give you 3 reasons why to stay away from patterns. Number 1 is that, like, let's say you're doing some online dating and we get you new pictures, or, you know, as you're like, and I know you do some media stuff and that kind of thing, patterns widen people in the camera. And that's why, like, when you see people on the news or, you know, they know the rule, you see most of them have the solid colors because it does tend to widen you. And so it becomes a distraction. And also, if there's body parts that you are trying to make, you know, thinner or conceal, if you have a big swirly, like contrasting colors, it actually widens that part that you're trying to conceal. And so, like, if this dress was, say, all black or all red, I think it would play better. Even with the ruffles, we could probably like shorten it and we could work with it. But because of the floral, there was a lot going on. Second reason, and this, don't kill the messenger, but I work with men too. Men really don't like patterns. I want you to take a look at this. I think something like this would be a va-va-voom on you. And now what I like about this is, yeah, it's hitting just a little below the knee. I'd like it a little bit higher, but you might feel a little more confident. So it's not like super, super short. It has the bodice that we like. And also, this is a hack too. Anytime you have a cinching that goes on in the stomach, it conceals that area and it makes you feel thinner there. So that will be really good for you in being more body confident. The only thing I'm not sure about is this little ruffle because of the hips, but it's so subtle and it's blending that I think it would work. And this color, oh my God, stunning, like absolutely stunning on you. And I love the sleeves. The 3/4 sleeves is really beautiful. What do you think of this look?
I like it, but no pockets.
Okay, so we're talking about men. We're talking about dates.
Okay. Good point. Good point.
But we gotta get in the mindset of we're not in a business meeting. We're not like hanging out in a networking event. Or we're putting on.
We're on a date. You're right.
And with that, we're gonna get a little handbag, and you're gonna put your phone in the handbag with your lipstick and maybe a little perfume. And you won't have to worry about the pockets. You might really enjoy too. And it's a little bit longer, and I wonder if we could hem it. But that's a beautiful dress. And it has a lot of elements, and it's more kind of like the skirt that you like, but the skirt hangs a little more. It's not as pleated and it's solid. So something like that would work for you. Do you like that?
Yeah, I mean, other than the pockets.
I know you're obsessed with those, but we gotta get.
I'm obsessed with the pockets. Like most of the dresses in my closet I picked because they have pockets, probably.
Honestly,
that one's cute. Yeah, that one caught my eye.
You would look hot.
That one's cute.
This is the bell shape that I'm talking about, where it kind of hugs you and then flares a little bit.
It's the right shade of red.
Well, take a look at this top, because
I love that top. That is gorgeous.
This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, like the peplum style. Yeah, that is adorable.
I think this is what you were trying to achieve with the red, where by putting the thing around you, and it still has the sleeves, but now this part's a lot more fitted with the blue.
Yeah.
You could do these all day long. Now that with a pair of jeans or like some cute little leggings, like adorable. And I don't know if have you ever thought about wearing?
I have a pair that don't fit me right now because they're a size 14, but I do have a pair of coated jeans.
They're hot. Like that's date worthy, wearing that with the red top. What I was going to show you was a style like this. It's called the one strap, but lower heel, because that's really probably too high for you. Let me just click on this and see what happens over here. Because the thing about the open toe that works for you, but I understand like if you're self-conscious about your toes, is that it elongates the leg, and when you have too much material on the toe, it actually can close you off and make you look wider. It's again.
Oh, interesting.
Well, okay. So how do you feel?
I'm excited. I'm excited to work with you. I'm excited to try some of these things. Definitely learn some things that I did not know about your hacks and shape benders or whatever. Yeah, I'm really excited for, after working with you, who I will be.
Well, you're going to be the same person. We're just kind of letting you see her in a whole different way. And drum roll! The lovely Sandy! Oh my gosh! Well, we were gonna have her like come in and do the big reveal, but we had, logistics. We had to get mic'd up and all that. But as you can see, oh my gosh. Sandy, you look beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my gosh.
I love having my hair and makeup done. It just makes me feel so loved and special. Like I wish I had somebody at home that would do it for me all the time. But
well, maybe you should.
Well, as a boy mom, I have not succeeded in getting them to, step up.
Yes, yeah. Well, we'll have to do something about. And the notion of being pampered is actually kind of congruent with what we were talking about with you and receiving. Because one of the things that really I got from working just in that one session is how much you do for others, even with what you do for a living. Like you're constantly giving, and now's the time to start receiving.
Yeah. Like on the one hand, I want it, right? You say that and I'm like, oh my God, yes. And then on the other hand, there's that good girl part of me like, oh, but it's not about me. It's never about me. You know what I mean? And I think that was a message I got a lot when I was growing up. Well, it's not about you. Stop making it about you. And so when is it about me? When do I get to make it about me? And I think that I never found that line.
Thank you for sharing that. Like that is, and the messages we get growing up it's like a blueprint, and it just like stays there, and you don't even realize sometimes how it's leaking later on in life because it's like a program.
Right.
And I call it the gremlins, right? There's a lot of words for it. And I also wonder how that message interacts with you in being seen.
Yeah. I know that I will definitely I will compromise a lot before I'm asked to, right? So I don't know, for a stupid example, like let's say that we went to a donut shop, right? Which we have donuts, and I have a favorite donut. So I will automatically go through this thought process of, okay, this is my favorite donut, so I'm gonna leave it there and wait till everybody else gets their donuts, and then I'll take whatever's left because I don't wanna, push myself first, right? Nobody knows that I've made that compromise, right? Nobody asked me to. Nobody knows that I did it. And then when and again, this is a stupid example, but it's the only one that I could really think of. But then okay, so then 10 times I've given up my favorite donut, right? And then let's say the 11th time I go and I take it and somebody makes a comment, like, I don't know, whatever, right? Like, oh, I want to, and then like I feel terrible. You know what I mean?
It
like,
hits you.
Yeah, and or like to even take it out further, like maybe then I get frustrated. Well, how come nobody ever offers me the donut? I think of everybody else, and well, why should they? I haven't said that I wanted it. I made a compromise that I wasn't asked for. Yeah. But it's so ingrained, it's so automatic to always put everybody else first that they don't even know. So it's not even like I'm getting, I don't know, credit, benefit, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And then if I get frustrated, then it's like, well, why are you such a bee? Like, what's wrong with you, you know? And they're right, because like, or will happen, like we actually need to compromise about something and I have nothing left to compromise because I compromised up front.
Because you gave it all away.
Right, and nobody even knew. And so now I seem like I'm super stubborn because I have nothing left to compromise with.
Do you see the loop?
I totally see the loop. I mean, I see it.
But how do you get off? Right. How do you get off spinning donuts in a row?
Exactly,
like,
yes.
It just is,
not to make everything a food analogy, but
You caught that. Oh my God. Well, there was a lot of analogies and even just, we'll address the pockets in a second.
Yes. my precious pockets.
There's themes that keep coming up.
Yes.
But going back to that, and I do want to get back to that, because also just thinking about how that's serving you in your life and who you're attracting in your life when you're constantly giving.
Right. I attract a lot of users. I do, yeah. And then I wonder, like, oh, what's wrong with me that I can't keep relationships or even friends or whatever because they blow up, because at some point I stop giving when I realize that it's very one-sided.
Yes.
And since I attracted a person that was only there, you know, I don't want to say they were takers or users or whatever, but whatever the dynamic was that I gave, you know, when I stopped doing that, then the relationship blows up, right? I see that. And I don't know how to be different.
How to stop it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it's all you know.
Right.
And you were reinforced to be a giver, and that probably stemmed early on in childhood. And so your confidence lives in being a giver.
And right? I mean, I naturally am, right? I mean, you know, I'm the kind of person like, I don't know what, like I see somebody fall across the street, like I'm the first one that's going to run to want to help them. And if I can't, like, I feel that intense pressure, like I want to help, right? I mean, I'm just by nature a nurturer, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but then you're right. Like then also reinforced with, you know, when I was selfless, that's when I would get the atta girls. When I spoke up for myself or wanted something for myself, then it was like, oh, why is it about you? Why are you always making it about you?
That's so important what you just said.
Yeah.
So the notion becomes to look, you're not going to change these takers. They're going to be constantly in your face. And you're going to be a magnet for them.
Right.
And they're going to keep kind of rotating around you. But what you can do is change things about you from the get-go. From like the minute you say hello. And this is why like I'm backing up and not even like going deep into that stuff yet, because it starts with how you show up, how you demand attention to yourself, how you are in your body, how you're pampered, and say, you know what, I deserve more. And when you change that attitude and you change the message that you're sending out to other people, they're going to respond to you differently. And the takers aren't going to like it.
Right.
They'll hate you like that. You know, they're like, I don't want to be, you know, with her. And so, but the givers and the ones who will have more reciprocal kinds of relationships will adore you and love you and want to know more.
Well, I'm ready. My car, to use a car analogy, like my car has seats in it.
Yes. Well, let's get in and start driving. And it starts with kind of like the roadmap, right, to give you. And we started with the makeover.
Right.
And so talk to me a little bit, and we're going to see some behind the scenes because you came into the studio getting ready. But how are you feeling right now? I mean, you got your hair and your makeup done.
Well,
and everything.
I mean, I feel good because I had my hair and makeup done. I'm purposely not looking at myself in the monitor, so I don't get insecure because, like, you know, I have a camera, which always makes me feel good. I love being on camera.
Yes.
And you know, you're fun. So, you know, but if I were to start looking at myself on camera, then I'd start, oh, the chins, oh, the rolls, oh, the, you know. So I'm just like, I don't want to see that.
Okay, well, it starts here with seeing yourself, because guess what? This is recorded. And so then you can go back and see yourself.
I know.
And I might make you see yourself.
I know.
But I want to explain a little bit what was happening behind the scenes to get her to even get in this seat. First of all, I want to do a huge shout out to Makeup by Jira.
Oh yeah, she's amazing.
Jira is amazing. She is based here in LA. You can actually catch her Instagram, Makeup by Jira. She did your hair and your makeup. She did my hair, my makeup. And, you know, this is so important. You know, a lot of times we think it's like superficial, you know, kind of thing. And when we're having a good hair day, we're having a good we're having a good day, right? You know, and it is a confidence booster. So, Jira, thank you so much. And any of you who have an event, you don't have to go on camera, by the way, to get this done. It should be when you go on a date, IRL, that you should be hiring her.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Right?
She has the most like gentle hands. Like you really feel pampered in her care.
I know, and a sweet soul. So, Jira, mwah, thank you. So that was happening behind the scenes. And then, of course, we were selecting some of the clothes because you were overwhelmed. She comes in, by the way, we didn't get this to you. She comes in with this ginormous suitcase, right? And then I hardly could carry the clothes. And she's like, can you just help me pick out which outfit? Yeah. And so we had a little bit of your wardrobe in there and a little bit of the stuff that she had. So we're gonna watch what happened.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, it's just like that.
Yeah. So
who's here today? Who is this lovely person?
Yes. Come over here. Look at all the things that you got. This is incredible. So we are here behind the scenes because we are about to do Dating IRL show and have a complete makeover on this beautiful woman, Sandy. And we did a little shopping before. So right now, before she gets ready, we are going to pick out her outfits. You have so much, and some of it is yours.
Right. Some of it was already in my closet.
Okay. And so, what not to wear is these long dresses, because we want to show your hot legs, and this is going to cover your hot legs. So we're definitely not doing this. This is too much.
Should I return this one? This one I just got, so.
Yeah, it's too much material. And the thing is that there's these horizontal lines that go all the way down. It's just gonna kind of widen you.
Right. I got it because it was solid color. It had the crisscross that we just discussed.
I love that. And you have she has the pockets.
I mean, like,
this is like, we have to have an intervention about the pockets, and maybe at the show we are going to talk about this and help you with this.
I don't know that, but what if I had it altered and took off one of the layers?
No. We are just going to get definitely just a different. Okay. Put that down. All right. We have a ceremony for
this one has a twin in another color.
All right. We'll get there. Okay. But now this is one that we picked out, and I'm really interested in this one for the show, because this one has all the elements that work. It has the V that we like. We have the bodice. It has kind of that material that will hold you, and also the length of the skirt is a little bit shorter. So I'm interested in having you try this one on.
You know what it doesn't have? Pockets.
I'm literally like. we're gonna work on this. I know it's a block for you, and we're gonna replace it with something else. But I want you to go and change into this, and let's see. Okay, go for it.
All right. I might need help changing into this.
So that was fun.
I was packing light.
Yeah, right.
If this was an overnight, there would have been twice as many.
Yeah, I know. I shudder to think. By the way, because this is really important, and we're going to get to this. Sandy has a date, a hot date after this. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah!
Oh my gosh.
I know. So we're like, I'm throwing you to the wolves here.
I know.
Like, I'm doing it all jam-packed. And look, I mean, you've been stuck in your cocoon, stuck in your mindset for long, and there's no better way than getting out of your way than going for it.
Right.
You're diving in.
Straight into the fire.
You already look amazing.
Thank you.
You have your hair and makeup done. I have to share something that you texted me.
Okay.
Can I
Yeah,
share?
sure.
It was just funny.
Okay.
Because you're like, because I'm like, oh, the date worked out. And you're like, okay, great, but because you live in San Diego, and so I know you have a drive, but you're like, can we just do something fast and casual?
Yes.
I'm like, no.
Yeah.
You are dressed up to the nines. This fellow has also prepared himself, and another matchmaker has, prepped him.
Okay.
Like I'm prepping you.
Right.
And this one wants to probably put her pockets on and go casual. So, speaking of which, can we talk about the pockets? Like I'm gonna bop you one. What's with the pockets?
Well, otherwise, where do you put your phone? Right? I mean, like, what? It doesn't really work. Like,
Okay.
it makes a weird thing. So you can't really put it there.
Okay,
like walking around with your phone hanging out.
Men, if you are watching, all right, put it back. I want the men to see this. Like, what? Is that how? Well, you know what, men? Sadly, men probably wouldn't like it in this dress, right, men? Because guess where the focus is.
I mean, I know some women keep their entire like the entire contents of their purse in their bra, but I never found that very comfortable. And so
Yeah.
but I mean, so then you're like just kind of stuck like holding it. Or like even if I have a purse, then the purses are like never big enough. But if it is big enough, then it gets lost.
Okay, so instead of pockets, you could do a pocket book. Now this isn't the purse that I would recommend. We can only do what we could do here in the studio.
So let's talk about.
Let's talk about it.
Now I have to hold on to this thing. I have to remember where it is. I have to be careful where I put it down. Like now, like this thing is my albatross. With like, if you just have a pocket, like you put your phone in your pocket and you can put your credit cards in your pocket and you're good to go. And like there's nothing to forget or get stolen.
Okay. Take a deep breath. Okay. First of all, what you're talking about is I understand the functionality of it. Yeah, and that's what we were talking about in the video.
And I'll be honest, I could easier walk outside naked than without my phone. Like
really?
Yes, like without my phone. I don't know, maybe because my kids are almost grown, so at this point it probably doesn't make sense. But maybe from when my kids were younger and I was a single mom, and I just felt that I needed to be reachable, which as my now 16-year-old said when I called from Ghana, a few months ago, I'm like, well, how's everything going? And he's like, why? What can you do about it if it's not, if everything, like if something's wrong?
Right.
So,
right.
I mean, and he's right. So I get it's just like
it's
an emotional,
habit.
Yeah.
And it's a habit because I'm a parent and I remember like always needing that phone.
Yeah.
But I also wonder if it's a way for you to kind of like hold on to something. Because do you feel awkward sometimes when you don't have something to hold on to, like in your body? Like, do you feel like the need to? I'm just checking in.
I'm ADHD, so I mean, I definitely am a lot of movement and fidgety and whatever in general. But even if I'm not looking at my phone, like even if I'm keeping it in my pocket, I guess just to know that. I don't know, God forbid there's an emergency, I've got it, right? Like, I mean, I have my kids at 7 years old already with their own phones.
The phone will ring, it'll vibrate, and then you can open it up and take it out.
I know. I mean, I follow you logically 100%.
Yes. But here's the thing, and I want to get into this because we are coming to an end soon, and I do want to prep you a little bit for this date, and this kind of relates to it. And remember, you were saying you want to learn some body language hacks, and some of it's with the eyes, and this is part of it. And one of the things that we were working on in the workshop last night is that there are certain movements, there are certain things that signals to the other person about what kind of person you are, what's going on. And that's why I was asking about the fidgetiness.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, like there are other things, you know, and sometimes it's like, I know you don't cross your legs mostly, but like for you out there, if you are someone that you can do that. If you have, you know, a drink, you know, you can hold on to, you know, the glass and just kind of like, you know, play with the glass, that kind of thing. But also thinking of it in a feminine way. And a lot of the stuff that you were talking about too is that you have a lot of masculine energy with what you do for a living too, and that the movements sometimes can get very like da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, you know, and so I want you really practicing just like leaning back more. Yeah, stuff like that. And the tilting of the head is really nice. Yeah. Oh, now you're looking a little bit sexier. Oh my God, so good, by the way. And like, can you like take your hair and just kind of like, this is, by the way, would be another thing to play with is like, did you know, ladies, and this goes for you too, that when you play with your hair, that's a sign of attraction. And so doing little things like that and tilting your head. Yeah, like that. Oh my God, she just looks really hot right now. I love it. Yeah, like, just so you know, like people in the studio are loving it too. Yeah. It's just like the kiss. You know, it's little things like that. And then like even as you're getting to know someone, you know, just like, you know, a little bit of the touch and, you know, even touching the neck. That's another like
my own neck, not their neck.
Well, later maybe their neck, but not when you first meet them. Like later, that's
that would be a little bit weird. Like, oh, nice to meet you.
That would be odd. There's a time and place for everything, for sure. But no, actually, like when women stroke the nape of their neck like this is also like it's like a pruning thing.
Oh, okay.
You know, yes. It's a little sensual
that feels
thing.
very awkward.
Yeah, but that's the other thing I want to say is that you do you. Like anything that doesn't feel like totally natural, you might even want to practice at home, you know, some of these things. But even just that tilt of the head, like that's you. And you're very and doesn't she have a great smile? Like, no, it's so beautiful. And that, to me, that is what you should use with men. And like holding that eye.
Yeah.
Holding the eyes and just smiling and being okay with silence sometimes.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Yeah, what's hard about it?
I'm just, you know, I feel the need to fill it. If there's a lot of silence, I'll just kind of start nervously babbling about God knows what.
Silence is sometimes the sexiest thing you can do.
Okay.
And it's being comfortable in the silence. And there's also a leaning back and a slowing down.
Yeah.
That happens with this. See, like this is much nicer. Yeah. And so when you go on a date, just trust that he's going to be able to carry the conversation too, because if you are carrying it, he may feel like he doesn't have the opportunity to have a word in edgewise. And this is what happens all the time, is that a lot of people come to me and they say, oh, well, I couldn't get a word in edgewise. And like, well, did you allow for that to happen? And so it's a yin and yang thing, you know? So it's a dance. It's a dance. You say a little bit, leaning back, you listen. He says a little bit, it's not your job to carry him.
Okay. That will be what I work on tonight.
Yes. So slowing down, twirling the hair, smiling. Oh my gosh, she looks so cute.
The smiling I got that part. I'm good at that.
But adding the element of the silence, and that's part of the femininity, and that's where you get to practice receiving. So we're at the end. I mean, there's so much more, but we got to get you date ready and prepped, and we got to end the show. And I just want to like share with all of you who she's meeting.
Oh yeah, I'm kind of curious myself.
Yeah, I showed you a little bit, but this is the description, okay? He sounds pretty good. He says he's a romantic, he's tender and kind. He is 53 years old. He lives in the San Fernando Valley looking for a woman over 31 years old. That's good.
Yeah, okay, check.
Check. You know, he is a big nerd in that, He says he means it in the best way. He's an analyst at a aerospace company, and he loves computer gaming and board games, and he loves science, comics, and anime, and he loves dancing. Hey, a nerd who loves dancing? I like that combo. And so he's ready to be twirled across the floor, so get ready.
Oh.
His love language is giving gifts and giving massages.
Ooh, I like both of those.
So if you like to be doted on, hello, he is your man. So Sandy's gonna go on a date. Yay! Thanks for joining me. This is Dating IRL. If you want to subscribe, go to datingirl.tv. Again, my name is Kimmy Seltzer. Mwah. See you next time. We gotta get ready for twirling.
For twirling.